Well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's see, I want to go to the 5-minute chart. See what's going to happen at 8:30 with this CPI data. We already see the move happening. It must be 8:30 on the dot. Sometimes you have to watch that first run though, because that first pop don't always be the pop. Right? Sometimes they'll do that so they can get you in on it and get you off base. They try to distract you with an opposite move. Hope everybody's doing okay this Tuesday morning. Turnaround Tuesday, as they call it. See how things are going. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Twitter. Good morning, Facebook. And good morning, YouTube. Yeah, everybody should be here. I'm here. You're here. We are here. Yes. 8:30 this morning, you see we had, I keep saying CPI and PPI, which like I get them mixed up. But this morning was CPI. There we go. CPI data. Oh, sorry. PPI data. It's Tuesday. Today is PPI data, the personal price. I want to say it's personal. Let me see what the P stands for so I can make sure. Producer, not personal. Producer price index is our PPI. Producer price index. And we care because it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When producers charge more for goods and services, the higher costs are usually passed on to the consumer. Maybe that's why I called it personal, because it's going to feel personal when those prices go up from the producer, right? When the producers make it more, then they pass it on to the personals, which would be us. And that's what's going on this morning. It looks like, let me go back and see. Good morning, Earl. Let's go back and see what the numbers look like. Look like we expected 0.2%. It ended up being 0.1%. Last time it was 0.2%. Now it's 0.1%. This is red, but I guess it's not like red. It's just red. The core PPI they thought would be 0.2%, and it's zero. So basically flat. It was 0.3% last time. 0.2 is what they thought this time, and it's at zero, which is red. Okay. Now, I'm going to learn about economics, but at this point, all I know is those numbers are red. Okay. Which, according to this, it must not be good, because if it was good, it would be green. It's not. FOMC member Bostic is going to speak at 1:15. I've got to learn more about my PPIs and my CPIs so that I can speak intelligently about it versus just it's red and green. But, red and green works. If it's red, that's probably not a good thing. If it's green, that's a good thing. But you know how that goes. Okay, here we are. So looking at the green, this is a 5-minute chart. So we see that it's popped a little bit, got a lot of upwards wick though, so that means it's probably going to go the other way some more, but let's just give it some time. Good morning, Tanya, and good morning, Mr. Earl. Let's look at our VIX this morning. It's at 20.14. 20.14 this morning. It's down 2.75% or 0.57. So VIX coming down a bit means the market would like to be going up a bit. Yesterday, the market showed itself strong. Yesterday, the market was strong. So, it definitely got moving and kept moving yesterday. Let me get us on a smaller time frame so that way we can see what actually happened. Okay, this was all yesterday, the 12th. We had a red drop, and then it recovered, went all the way up as high as, what was the high here? 53.71 was the high, and then it pulled back, and then it hit this support and went right on back up, but it did fall back down some more. So we closed the day at 53.36. Nope. We closed the day at 53.45. That would be the open. 53.45 was where we closed the day yesterday. Okay. That's SPX, what's going on there, or at least what went on yesterday, right? In Yahoo Finance, Tim Walls, uncommonly common finances. U.S. futures edge higher with the key inflation data looming. Let me refresh this because now that it's already hit, they've probably updated this. They may have updated the news. Starbucks replaces CEO Laxman Narasimhan with Chipotle CEO Brian Nico. Okay, Starbucks went to Chipotle, got their CEO and brought him over. Okay. Chipotle stock falls as the CEO Brian Nico leaves for Starbucks. Oh, well, yeah, because they're like, the CEO's leaving. Why and what? Didn't Chipotle just do a split? Did they have a split, or they're gonna have a split or something of their stock? Futures rise slightly as we await the data. Wholesale inflation measure rose 0.1% in July, which was less than expected. Home Depot expects sales to weaken as consumers grow more cautious. That makes sense. Here are Tuesday's biggest analyst calls: Netflix, Amazon, Lyft, CrowdStrike, Dell, Disney, Hormel, Lilly, Home Depot. HelloFresh shares pop 10% as the meal kit giant beats profit estimates. Anytime you make something more convenient for people and you make it affordable, somewhat affordable, you're going to get people to buy it because people want the convenience. If they're like me, I'm not a huge fan of the grocery store. And if I could get everything to come into a kit and all I got to do is put it all together and it still tastes good, I'd be open to that, especially for people who can't cook. I know how to cook, but I also know how much cooking requires. So when cooking requires a lot of time, energy, and prep, people don't necessarily want to. That's why you see people going to restaurants so much, because of what it's required for cooking. Elon Musk and Donald Trump event on X crashes the site. Tesla CEO blames a cyber attack. Will Bitcoin reach its $1 million milestone in 2025? Ukraine wants negotiating power as it forces advance into Russia. Biggest moves, pre-market. We've got Home Depot, Starbucks, Hormel, Chipotle, and more. So Starbucks may make a move upwards because of the change in CEO, and Chipotle looks like it's gonna go down. Hormel must have had some earnings. I wonder what made them pop this morning. Maybe they had earnings. And Home Depot is also there. Okay. Stock futures rise as first of the two major inflation reports come in lighter. Okay, so people must have liked that it was only that little bit amount. Dow futures are up 0.8%. S&P futures up 0.34%. NASDAQ futures up 0.57%. Oil and 10-year bonds are both red. Okay, investing.com for today. We had our the information from the PPI was this morning. And then we got Red Book at 8:55. Bostic is speaking. FOMC is 1:15. And at 4:30, we've got weekly crude oil stock. So PPI excluding food, energy, and transportation month over month is 0.3%. PPI excluding food, energy, transportation over year is 3.3%. Core PPI is 2.4. They thought it would be 2.7. And core PPI month over month is 0. Month over month PPI, that's like overall is 0.1, and year over year is 2.2. Right in line, I guess, that would, a little bit different, but it's not like markedly different from the two. Let's go see what's on the. Tanya says, yes, they already split. Okay, thank you. About Chipotle. Karen, good morning. Janae says, good morning. How Brian gonna leave Chipotle? Fish, orange, wide-eyed. I don't know what that means, but yeah, well, Chipotle Mexican grill, I could pass anyway, but that's just me as a consumer of the product. Pass. I actually had some Moe's yesterday because Moe's, I guess, will be in their competition. I don't know if Moe's has stock. Not that I would buy it, but I don't know if they had it. But I'm just saying I had Moe's because Moe's queso is better. You can't base a whole company, can't base a whole company's business plan though off of how good their queso is. You can't. That would be very petty of you going, I can't buy their stock because their queso not good. Or I can't buy their stock because Keith Lee said they don't do the right portion sizes. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, but I'm not a Chipotle fan. I think my biggest issue with Chipotle, though, is the fact that they give me those chips inside of a pre-packaged, pre-weighed bag. I don't. In Moe's, they just put them in the bag. Now, I might not eat all these chips. I really won't eat all these chips, but that doesn't, I don't want to feel like I'm limited on how many chips I'm going to get by this bag that you pre-put together. And they're not warm, they're cold chips. At Moe's, they keep them in the warmer. Anyway, those are just, that's just me. So yesterday, earnings after market, we didn't really have anybody that was notable. But this morning we had Home Depot was this morning, Hut 8 this morning, excuse me, PaySafe was this morning, 10 Cent Music Entertainment was this morning. I was asking about Hormel, but I don't see it here, so I'm not really sure why it's having a pop this morning. But this afternoon we're going to have new Search Pays, Ouster, Gold Royalty, Zebra, Int App, Avino. That's all the ones that are going to be tested at this afternoon after market closes. And tomorrow morning, we're going to have Cardinal Health and Dole. These are the bigger ones that I think would be, UBS would be more expected. Okay. That's all happening after this the earnings season is, it seems like it seems to be winding down, wrapping up. Maybe Janae knows something I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Janae, I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's go to the next thing, which would be Adam's numbers. These are my people. These are my people. Okay, excuse me. Adam says, let me get some water. Feels like there's, leftovers in my throat. What's up with that? I haven't even eaten anything. I had coffee, so maybe it's the dairy. Anyway, stay on task, Carlissa. After the recent 200 plus point rally, SPX has been building a new structure. My targets provided yesterday off the 53.43 reclaim were 53.52, 53.58, 53.80, and 53.80 tagged overnight. The plan today, 53.58 to 62 and 53.42, both tested, but those are support. Keeps 53.73, 53.80, and 53.94 plus alive. If 53.42 fails, then we dip to 53.18. The difference between the ES and SPX gap is 20 points. And XSP, if you're trading XSP, 540 is your call credit spread sell strike, and 531 is your put credit spread the strike. I don't have a question, Janae. I'm leaving it. No question. No más preguntas. I do not have a question. Okay. There's that. Going forward, next week, we are having our Options 411 for Newbies 3-day challenge. We're going to teach you how to get paid every week, if not every day, from the market, talking about the basics and the options lingo, brokers and the accounts, things that you have to have, selling versus buying, and options quick start. I do know there are people who want to be able to trade options, who want to get started, don't really know where to start. And a lot of people put out advertisements. You scroll down Facebook, there's people advertising. You scroll down Instagram, people all over are advertising. I can't say whether or not the people are going to give you what, I think they probably will. But I feel like this is another place that you can start and you can see what's going on with this challenge, and you can get a good viewpoint of what is coming on, what's happening in options, and get yourself on the road to options trading. All right. So join us. That's in, you can go to educatortotrader.com to register for that. The banner should be running along the bottom of the screen. So even after I've mentioned it, you can still go there. Good morning, Steve. How you doing? Okay, so let's move back to the stage. Let's see what's going on what happened yesterday and what we anticipate for today. If you got some stock tickers you want us to look at, put them into the chat. I put down Starbucks and CMG because we can look at those. Okay, looking at the daily chart on SPY. SPY gapped up yesterday and then came down. It gapped up, went up, drop, and then closed up here at 533.27. That was yesterday's move on SPY. Notice how it went into this gap and said not so. It did not stay up in there. It went and then turned back around. But currently in the pre-market, it's at 536.08, so it's gotten back into the gap. Maybe it'll go on up a little higher this time. Let me put us our quartiles on the gap so we at least can see what are the percentages as far as where price actions potentially will go. You got 25%, which you also see here that the pivots has here as a resistance place. And then you've got the 50-cent mark, 75% and 100%. So these are all these four levels will provide resistance. Doesn't mean that it won't bump and go through, but just know that there's going to be resistance at these areas. At this point, SPY is trying to enter the gap. It's trying to enter the gap. I see Meta. I see Home Depot. Good morning, people. Good morning. Okay, so that's what's happening with SPY. Support, resistance. I would go with support here in this area based on these couple touches back here, right? That the 532, 533 mark, 532 and some change is support, would be support. Resistance, of course, is going to be these levels in the gap, depending on how it goes today. You know, one day the ATR of SPY, I want to say, is about 5, 6. So it definitely could move on up. Let me go look at the plus minus number, because the plus minus number will help us with that too. Anybody who knows the SPY ATR can look and chime in. The daily ATR for SPY is what I'm looking for. It was in the 5s, but it could definitely have gone up. It says here plus minus 3.8. So 3 to 4, right? Somewhere right around 4. So, you know, up 4 points from current price puts you at like 540, something like that, 540. And 540 puts you above this 50% mark. So you really could look at that as your outer bound. As your outer bound up here. So if we were looking, I would do here. Still got to get used to my thing being over here. Call credit spread. No. You would decide whether you like the call credit spread side or put credit spread side. Okay. Let me type. No. Okay. Maddening. There we go. 540 being the sell leg. And if you wanted to go with a put credit spread, don't know why that just disappeared. Anybody got any clue how you hit something that just goes poof? What? I'm moving on because anybody got time for that. 530 and 540 is what I said is the zones you could look at if you wanted to do that. Okay, 530 and 540. This similar look is going to be on Triple Q. You know, they've kind of got a similar thing going on. Do y'all see how I made my numbers bigger over here? Yay. Yesterday, I was able to get help making my numbers bigger yesterday. Yesterday's candle on Triple Q is the epitome of a doji. Do you all see this? It was like the same high and low and just flat in the middle. This is looks so much like manipulation to me, because how do you open and close at the literal same place? It opened at 451.29, 39, 451.39, and closed at 451.38. How does it do that? How does it do that? Close and open at the exact same price with all of this volatility, all of this up and down price action, but it closed. Now, it did go up almost as high as the 50% mark of the gap as far as price action goes. So now we would need to see it bump above that, which it's sitting currently in the pre-market. It is sitting just below or right at the midpoint of that gap. Current price is at 450, 455. I mean, in the pre-market. Not sure if y'all can see that because it's little on your screen. Okay, let's go to Meta. Let's go on to Meta and Home Depot. Morning, Nori. How we doing? Haven't seen you in the chat in a while. Fear indicator is 22, partly waiting for when iron retaliates. I had SPY ATR at around 11. For the daily ATR, Janae, you have 11? Appreciate that. I looked at the plus minus number on the option chain. And those are two different things, because the plus minus number is implied volatility and the ATR is literally the average true range of the last 14 days. If you're on the daily chart, the last 14 days, the average is 11. That means it, could swing that much. Again, I've got 3.8 for the plus minus number. Okay. Where are we? We're on Meta. Meta's going to have some resistance here at the 520.95. I need to start turning back on my, is it still up here? I like it, but it puts a lot of stuff on the chart. Oh, it's not even here. That's probably why it's not on. It's not here. Anyway, this is the supply area where there is some juice up here from 521 to 527. Can come in here, grab some gas, and go whichever way it's going to go. And we're currently at 519.10 on Meta. If we're looking at Meta as a seller, this is the resistance place right here at the top of this 520.74. Let me see. I would go look. I would probably go with a call credit spread at this point. Meta seems like it wants to keep moving. We're on an upwards trend. There's a bit of a gap down here, but it's a pretty good ways back. Coming into resistance though at 520.95. Hit here and it could pull back. So you could use this as a way to do your call credit spread and bring it on back down, because you're going to get good, you would get good premiums here. That's 534 is this resistance, and another resistance place would be 542. That's a bit far away from where we are now at 519, 22 away. I do have a plus minus 16 though on Meta. So 16 up from current price would put you at what, 535? 535 would be above this. Second call credit spread, 535 or above. See if it stays this time. Don't know why stuff just disappearing off the chart. Who does this? Okay. Or you could come into this zone. There is support in this area here, which 497. 500 is probably going to be a good psychological number. If we subtract 16 from where we are in the pre-market, that really puts us at like 503. That really puts you up in the zone a little bit more. And this gap has been filled right from back here, so I really can take it off of the chart. But many times these gaps, or in the middle of these gaps, do provide some more support and resistance even after they've been filled. as price goes through it and then comes back through it, there's room here. So if we were to, again, we were subtracting, let me see if I look here on the single chart. Meta, where y'all looking at trading Meta as? I'll talk about it as a buyer here in a second, but where were you looking to trade it doing what? Looks like 500 or 502.5 would be a good place for a put credit spread. It's right here, Alyssa. It's right here. PCS 500-502.5. Looking at a CCS or a put debit spread for Meta. Okay. Believing it'll hit this resistance and come back. This is a good resistance place, so I could go along with that. When I'm doing debit spreads, I try to get as close to at the money as possible. But I also look at the single call leg to see what the volume is looking like. So I would look at the money, or just out of the money, maybe one strike, because it doesn't, this is a 2.5 spread on Meta. So a 2.5 spread, put debit spread. Let me change it to a vertical so I can see. Sorry, you all, I didn't open up Thinkorswim, and y'all know that takes like too long. The resistance place is at 520. So I would probably do 522.5, 520. No, yeah. On the put side, I would be below. I'm getting them mixed up. So if I was doing a put debit spread, I would probably go with the 515, 517.5. Of course, you're going to look at the ask. Looks like you're going to pay about $100 for that. If you pay 110, then the other 140 is what your potential profit is. I wouldn't enter though a put debit spread, because y'all know this is, according to our stratification, this is a one candle. This is a one. What do we do with our ones? Our ones are, right, we enter the top. Once it breaches the top of this one, we can put calls going up, except for we see a very big resistance not too far from here. So this is 518, which is already above that now, coming into resistance 520. No. So with that being said, you would wait till it went back through here. Now 509 is real far away. So you would look to see, you were looking at 510, 507.5. Yep. That would be good. I probably would, if I was doing it based on the daily chart and based on the week per se, maybe more within 1 week, I would look at puts. Puts below, what's this, 509.82, 509.80, something like that. Okay, so what we're going to do though, this is regular puts, not like a put credit spread. This is just puts, and then calls up here. What you would look at though, even though we're on the daily time frame, you bring this down to maybe, let's look at the 65-minute time frame and see what kind of, I'm going to turn off the extended hours, so we're only looking at regular hours to see on a lower time frame what would be a good entry on a lower time frame, if there's an entry point. That way you don't have to wait till the 509 if you see it going in that direction. So this is a 2 up. If you're going to do it based on the 65 minutes, then you'd enter around 514, but then you want to make sure that you clear. I probably would enter under the 513, because that then gives you at least a shot to down to 512. You doing it for the week, or like several days? Because I guess you got Meta's only on Friday. You doing this coming Friday expiration, Tiva? Are you doing this Friday expiration? Because if so, you could enter going. It's a lot of consolidation here. I'd want to clear all this stuff out before you went. I'd want to clear 513.62 before entering for puts. Okay. If I was looking at Meta, I'd want to clear this lowest point, because if you enter here, it could definitely come here and, bounce around. But, I mean, it could still be, still could keep going, but puts below what I put 513.70. What do you use as your determination for entry? What do you use as your determination for entry, Tiva? Because if you went below 513.70, this is the 30-minute chart. So, it's going to be a different things. Different time frames is going to give you different targets. But if you got here, then the target would be down to like 511. That gives you the target there. Higher time frames, again, are going to give you different sets of targets. Our moving average still shows it going up. It's going to need to get underneath this to really give us a good move. 513 is good. And then the target, again, 511, 512. That's good. Let's look at the 4-hour chart and see if we see something different. 4-hour chart, you could, again, enter in the 513, well, below 513.70. And the next target is going to be that 509. Actually, this becomes the next target then, 509 or 510. If you're entering based on the 4-hour time frame. Oh, you're doing 15 and 5-minute time frame. Okay, well, let's go look a little lower. That's your entry. And you have a price target, then I presume, because you should have a price target. This was 2 up. Then I'd look for a good reversal here. It would need to be at least 50% past here, coming back down, and the 50% of this whole candle is high low 1.2. So you'd want to be down about $1 before entering. You want this 15-minute candle, the price to have gone more than 50% of this candle before you entered going downwards. And then your target's going to be the bottom of these, which is like 514. So one thing about debit spreads is they're not as great for, no problem. They're not as great for short-term pops. So if you just want short-term, like the same day kind of thing, debit spreads aren't as good for that. They'll work, but they're not as good for that. And that's because you've got the buy and the sell leg working together. So if you're going to do something that's only for a few hours or a few minutes, put debit spread or a debit spread period may not be the best move. They're good for a day, a couple days. They're good for a week. That's going to help you from having to pay so much money. But if you're just doing debit spreads because you want to capture the next like little bit of a move, they're not as great for that. But they'll still do it. They just won't yield like a straight put or a straight call is going to yield. They just won't do that. Okay. 510, 507.5 actually would be good for the week. I'm thinking as long as you got a good entry. Call credit spread, of course, you can enter whenever because you just let it go down. And then when it's done, it's done. So I think I put on here, I did put call credit spread numbers on here, I believe. Or did I? I didn't know. Oh, no, this is no good. What did I say? Yes, I did. I put it up here. There we go. Call credit spread 535 or above. And you really could get in closer. If this rejects at this 520 level, you can ride with that. You don't have to go as high as 535 if it rejects at 520. I would wait if you were doing it as a seller. I will wait till it rejected at 520 in order to enter going down. Okay, so that was Meta. We also wanted Home Depot, I think it was. I thought I saw somebody say Home Depot. Why is it not there anymore? Oh, there it is. Tanya wanted Home Depot. Tanya, did you get in? Oh, I want y'all to tell me who got into one of the trades off of our list. Mariani, hi. Who got into one of the trades off our list yesterday? I was so busy making sure my SPX or my stuff got closed. I did something yesterday that I said I wasn't going to do, and I would say it bit me again. The XSP and Triple Q, the price was going up or down, up, then it dropped. And then it started rising again. So instead of me waiting and leaving the time for the price action to continue to do its thing for the rest of the day, I again stepped in front of that bot and closed those out. I closed them out for break even. So I didn't lose any money, but then by the end of the day, the price had fallen some more and I would have ended in profit. But I was okay with that because I closed for break even. I didn't close for a loss. and I was trying to exercise my own level of risk management, but I had already said I wasn't not going to step in front of that bot. I was going to let the price, I was going to let it do what it do. And I didn't yesterday. This is the biggest thing about trading is fighting with yourself. I know y'all already know this. The biggest thing about trading is fighting with you, the inner me. When you're fighting with yourself, that's the biggest thing about trading, fighting with yourself. Once you get you conquered, oh my. When you conquer you, oh my. It's just everything will be like gravy when you conquer you. I'm better now. At least I think I'm more self-aware now than I have been in the past. I'm more self-aware of it. But before it would be like I wasn't. Not only was it like I wasn't self-aware, but I am more self-aware now. Why does it seem like Instagram is not, that I'm not live on Instagram, even though it shows here that I am? Anyway, keep it pushing. Home Depot. Let's see what the pre-market. It's at 344 in the pre-market. It closed at 345. So their earnings thingamajigger didn't do all that great. I want to change this back to extended hours. Can you let me go back to extended hours? I don't even see where to change it now. ADJ. Anyway. I took it off and now it doesn't want to put it back on. Current price $344. Let's look. We've got a downwards, you see, lower highs, lower high, lower high, right? So we're on a downwards trend at this point. Is this a trend line? There's a trend line. This is what's going on with Home Depot. Okay. So resistance here at 350 and some change. Let me go back to Thinkorswim so I can see what's happening with Home Depot and get us some numbers. Okay, now what you want to watch when you're dealing with an earnings trade, a post-earnings trade, you're going to want to watch to see if it does a gap down and then recovers. You're going to want to watch to see how that recovery is going. But I see 350 and some change as good resistance here. Let me look at the single chart. And then we'll see what we see for plus minus. Implied volatility is plus minus 16 again. And I see 360 as 78% probability out of the money, which puts us up here above this pivot, which is good. Above this pivot is good too. So we have here, if we did a call credit spread at 360, I think it's a 2.5. Yep. 360, 2.5. Now that's going to feel really far away now because we're about 5 points. No, a point below that. I thought this was a 0. We're about a point below this. So it's going to probably recover. But we've got support here too. And it had support at the 342. So y'all know I always be on the lookout for a good old iron condor. Yes. 330 is 75% probability out of the money. So if we wanted to look then at a put credit spread, PCS at 330, actually 327.5 slash 330. There we go. 327.5, 330. There we go. Yeah, that could be some good old Home Depot action. Let's see what kind of money did we talking about on Home Depot? If we did both of these, what kind of monies is we talking about? What kind of monies? What did I say? 327.5 to 330. This is paying currently $62. And 360, 362.5 is paying another $60. Are you serious? Are you serious? Just make up the songs as we go. That's what we do. Okay. Are you gonna let me type here? Nope. Nope. I don't get it. It's just what makes you pick what you're gonna pick? Home Depot. Let's try. If at first you don't succeed, we try again. Okay, I want to type here. Can you let me? There we go. So, yeah, y'all can see what this looking like though, right? So, plus minus 16. If you get outside of the 16, now 330 is pretty far down here because 330 actually is down further down. Plus minus 16 and to pull in $120, that's a 50-50 or a 1-for-1 risk to reward. Do y'all see me picking up the pen? We like them 1-for-1s. Yes, we do. We do like the 1-for-1s. If you go up to 360, go down to 330. Yeah. Yep. Good call, Tanya. Is that the only one we need to look at? Looks like all these gaps have been closed up. It's about 10 after 11, 11 after 9. It's the stuff that comes out. Like, really? Okay. Our freebies page, E2T-freebies. E2T-freebies for all the free stuff, the free resources that I've created, right? You got a charting cheat sheet, a charting webinar. You've got the 0 DTE cheat code options for beginners, a personality quiz for your trading strategy, 5 hacks for trading SPX, Facebook group, website, educator trader community. If you want to join as a member, membership's always open. And if you want to join our exclusive Telegram group, you can do that there as well, right? Looks like Instagram looks like it is stuck on. Maybe it's still running, but it just doesn't look like it on my screen. All righty. There's that. There is that. What else was on my slides? For our list this week. We've got CVS, Kroger, Verizon, and Exxon on the put credit spread. Did anybody enter any of these yesterday? Please hit the like button. Yes. Jamie says, please hit the like button. I'm supposed to say that all the time. Hit the like button, like and subscribe. Join the channel. Let us know. Hit the bell. Let us know that you're here. Send comments, all those good things. Leave comments, leave messages. This is all great. Call credit spread, Disney, Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Win. Looks like that Starbucks might make a move going upwards if we were going to look at that. Starbucks might make a move going upwards with this change of CEO. Change of CEO might cause a little bit of a pop in Starbucks. Let's see where they are. Where's pre-market price? Oh, yep. Pop, I say. They close at 77. It's currently at 89. That would be a $12 pop. Yeah. Now it's going to leave a huge gap though. So it might do a gap and go because that happens, or it may gap and pull back to fill because people will take profits potentially. Folks will be like, oh, Starbucks is on the way up again. Woo, woo. And they may keep it moving going upwards because Starbucks is at $77, well, at $89 now, but it's been up in this range before. This is a gap. It skipped over this whole gap, which is going to need to be filled now because today's price action has not filled it. But now that you're up here, it just may try to fill because all of this gap is not full. Y'all see this? We got most of it filled, probably up to the 75% mark, but then now today we jumped over it. So we're going to create another gap. I'm saying we, like I'm at Starbucks. They are going to create another gap this morning, but the resistance is actually right around where they are, where the price is. It's going to be some resistance around in here. Current price is at 89, resistance is at 88. That might turn into support. But in this same zone, yeah, it's right in a sell zone or resistance area, all the things you want to call it. It's in that area. It's going to pop into that area this morning. And it was consolidating in this zone for a while back in March. So if you're going to look to trade Starbucks, it's in the zone. It is definitely in a long standing where it was a hanging, and see what happens next. Maybe it's going to potentially hit this resistance at 91 and see what happens there. Couldn't get into Verizon, so I left it alone. The premium wasn't worth it. Exactly. The premiums on Verizon, I've looked, and it's just, I was looking to see which one I was interested in. Okay, so just like Starbucks did a pop this morning, Chipotle did a drop. 5 points, it's down today. It's down to 50.68. It does have a support at 49.81 and another one at 48.19. So it could fall into one of those support areas or a buy zone and then make its move as well. There is a gap that it got skipped over as well. There's a gap there between 52.18 and 52.70 that still remains to be filled. It's another one that's up here, 54 and some change. 54.32 to 54.59 is also a gap that's going to need filling. If you're looking at Chipotle, let's see what other support is back here. This was a strong support here at 48, at around the $48 mark. Strong support. So if it falls down, that's a couple more dollars below where it is. If it falls down to that point, it really may move on up again. Okay, I want to look at those two. I put them on my list. So our Iron Condor list includes Citigroup, includes MGM, Morgan Stanley, which is the one I was going to look at. I ended up not looking yesterday. Oracle and Pfizer. That's all the ones that are on the list. Morgan Stanley between 92 and 97, since we're here. Morgan Stanley is still between 92 and 97. It's got a, let me make this bigger so everybody can see. Did a little doji action yesterday, kind of hammerish. It is on the upper side at least, so there's a lot of buying pressure. And it is on an upwards trend from this standpoint, and it's got a gap that's not filled yet. The rest of this gap still needs a filling. Okay, so it could go on up. This long buying wick shows that it may want to go on up, but it's going to run into some resistance at the top of the gap, the bottom of that candle at 95.87. And it's currently at 95.55. So it really may fill that gap and then turn back. That 91, 92, 97, 98 may still work. Tanya says, I'm in Amazon and EMPH. Yes, I'm still in EMPH. I did put on my close order for EMPH. Amazon was actually like it wanted to make some moves yesterday. Actually, I noticed at the open that NVIDIA was moving up and I hesitated to make a move. And then NVIDIA has moved a whole bunch since I didn't make the move. I think it was at like 103 or 104 yesterday when I was thinking about entering. And then I hesitated some more and was like, Next thing I know, it was at 109. And then this morning it's at 111. So there's that. There's that. One thing you have to learn to do along the way in this trading journey too is trust yourself. You gotta trust yourself, especially if you can see, we can identify what's going on. We're good technical analyzers. Let me go back to the chart. We're good technical analyzers. Sorry about that, y'all. I never did switch back to the chart. But this is what Amazon's got going. It tried to get into the gap a little bit more. It needs to continue on through this gap. You got to put credit spread anyway, though, Tanya, right? Tanya said I'm looking at Exxon and Oracle. Exxon, I think, started moving yesterday. That CVX. I almost don't want to look at the NVIDIA. I think I put in the chat yesterday though that Elite Trader Options or Elite Options Trader said NVIDIA starting the road back to 160. I think I put that in our chat. He gave an entry and said if it closed above 106, then it was probably going to go on up to one. I want to say you said 160. I put that in our chat. Y'all remember? Anybody see it? Let me see if I see what I said. There it goes. After 35% pullback in NVIDIA, likely to run to 160 plus this year. Okay, NVIDIA closing above 106 on a daily candle, which it did yesterday. Trade idea, September the 6th, 120 call, target 120. NVIDIA is close to presenting an opportunity for a 5 to 10x move with certain option strikes. We can see 120 plus after earnings at the end of this month. Hey, that was Elite Options Trader said that. It's in our Telegram group. If those of you who maybe you saw it or didn't see it in the pre-market, you see it's at 113. I saw it at open yesterday, which was 106. And it don't even have any wick down here. Basically means it was only buy. I can sing the song, but I won't. But I saw it right here. It was like, Anyway, opportunity. It closed above 106. So it could be an entry with 120 as the target for September the 6th. Just a thought for those who would like to trade NVIDIA. Of course, I said in there that we could go to that NVIDIA we could trade it as put credit spreads, we could trade it up. I put right after that note, I said we could also trade it as put credit spreads and ride it up. All righty. It's 9:22. We're going to start wrapping up. We'll start winding it down and landing this plane, as they say. For your learning list, options 411 for newbies. If you're new to options and want to learn, August 20th through 22nd, educatortotrader.com is the place where you're going to register for that. If you need help with charting, startwiththechart.com is a free webinar you can do. It's a good overview of charting. Covers all the things, indicators, support resistance, candles, candle patterns, trends, all those good things. It's all in there. If you want to pick a strategy for you, trading strategy for you is a free quiz that will show you what strategy best fits your life, best fits your personality. Specific strategy training after that, once you know what strategy to get, you can go lean in on some of these specific strategies, all at educatortotrader.com. All right, trader's declaration. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts growing more and more each week. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war and our fingers to fight. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. All righty. We've got about 7 minutes before the market opens. Again, this is what some people call Turnaround Tuesday. So you're going to want to keep that in mind as you're trading. If you haven't entered your credit spreads for the week, today is still a good day for that. If that's what you choose to do, right? Pick a stock, 2 stocks, 3 stocks, up to you. Just try to stay as focused as possible and enter the trades that resonate with you so that you can watch them. I want to reiterate once again, for myself included, the sim is your friend. The sim is a place. Paper trading is a whole thing. It's a thing, okay? I know people do it, and I don't want people to get in their sim and stay forever. But if that's where you go to fine tune and finalize and your strategy, let's do it. That's where I'll be. That's where I'll be as I continue to fine tune my strategies. Okay. Of course, the ones I know, I'm still going to trade those live, but the ones I'm fine tuning, I'm going to trade them in the sim. Okay. 2 things. We're going to stay green and we're going to get this money. All righty. I will see you all in the market. Send me a message, send me a text, send me an email if you need me. All right. Talk to y'all later. See you in the market. Bye, everyone.